Alright, I'm pretty excited. We're pretty much at the point now where we're going to start putting the wrecker back together. So one thing I did want to show you was that there should be about 2 gussets underneath there that come across to the top and are welded on both sides. But this gives you a way better view of what you're looking at underneath. That material is probably about ½ inch, and I think they were around 2 to 3 inches in length. So we cut off both arms on the sides that actually hold the mount on for the wheel lift. This is actually what's left of one of them. The mount is actually gone. We have another one in the shop that we're going to actually cut apart, start rebuilding, and put the new plates on. And we're going to show you that in a minute anyway. As you can tell, there wasn't too much left of that old girl. We ended up trimming off the brackets, the top plate, and in underneath here you can see where we washed all of our welds away, right up in here. Got everything cleaned up so that we can mount that 2x3 rectangular tubing from there about 2 feet up to about there somewhere. We do have a couple holes in the channel that we're going to have to patch up, but that's basically just where I blew through. So we're going to put a big piece of plate in here anyway to strengthen everything up. And hopefully that should hold what we're looking to do for this. So right now we're going to grab a piece of 2x3, stick it in the saw, and cut some plates, see how it goes. Stay with us. So this is our other side that was still pretty decently intact, barely. And this plate here gets bolted to this plate, which is then welded pretty fast to the 2x3 square tubing. So about 2 foot there. If you're wondering what's hanging over my head there, that's my gravity-fed coolant. So I just made a red mark on that to distinguish between the 2 different types of metals, because one's a little rusty, and then when I scribe it, I will definitely be able to see that line a lot clearer than if I just scribed it in the rust. And that can get me a lot more accurate. Not that we gotta be accurate, but it kind of gets bred into you after a while. Goes. We're going to have to fill up the coolant bottle. Used a water-based cutting oil. What are you planning to name that tool in? Set this off for the next piece. Use the stop there. And we'll get to cutting this one as well. Alright, so we got those two pieces cut, 2 foot. We'll take a look at those in a second. First, we're going to take this mount outside, cut these 3 bolts off so that we can get the plates apart and see what we're working with here. That thing was spicy. The frame plates are going to be 8 by 6.5. And those will fit in between the 7-inch channel on the tow truck, and then we're going to have our holes in them. This is actually one of the original ones that we cut out, and it actually came out as one piece, so we're going to use this one as the template, and then we're going to put these on both these plates, weld them into the C channel, and that will be the brace behind the mount that holds the frame of the wrecker body to the frame of the truck. So now we have these 2 plates. They're 1/2 inch thick and they're 9 inches by 7 inches. And these are going to be this plate. So what we're going to do is we're going to transfer these 3 holes from this one here, which is still warm, onto this plate, because that's where our 3 holes are for here. And we're also going to transfer those 3 holes onto this plate as well. Now we still have to drill this hole out. And these plates are 5 by 9, I believe, yeah. So what we're going to end up doing is laying out these 3 holes. What we'll probably end up doing in order to make this really quick and keep all the holes aligned is we're going to figure out what our bolt hole pattern is for this, lay it out, and then we're going to stack all 4 of these plates together that are getting the same drilled pattern, and we're going to weld them, tack weld them together, and then drill them all out as one. That way everything stays the same. I have mechanical tubing here, which is 1.25 inch ID, and the outside diameter is going to be 2 inch, and then we just got to figure out what our length is and cut 2 pieces right to size. Looks like we're just over 1 inch, so I think we're going to be safe with just over 1 inch as well. The reason I'm using mechanical tubing is because it comes in specific sizes, so I don't have to drill this and bore it out in order for a pin to fit. It's going to fit the pin that I've made. The pins on this machine were actually metric, and they ended up being 31 mil, I believe. So we're going to keep everything relatively close, but this way we won't have things seizing up. We're going to keep tons of grease on it anyway. But that's the reason why I went with a mechanical tubing. Structure wise, yeah, it doesn't have a seam, so it's actually going to hold up better, and mainly because I don't have to drill it and bore it to size. I'm good with the size that it's at. Alright, we got our two pieces. Now we're going to set these plates up to measure them. So everything's going to go off of this plate. They're around a 7/8 hole. 7/8 hole. And how I like to measure between centers on holes, because I need to know the distance between this hole and this hole. So I'm going to measure the hole. That's going to give me 875 thousandths of an inch. And then I'm going to measure between the two holes. And I'm going to keep it tight. I'm going to go right in between them like that. So now I'm looking at about 5 inches, 590 thou. Now, if I just hit zero those, extend these out 7/8 of an inch, roughly. There you go. Zero it again. Now bring it in. So now you're looking at about 6.4635. That's your full distance between centers, because that's, you're taking half of one hole and half of the other hole, which equals 875. I'm going to measure this for sure to make sure that this hole is in line with these two holes as well. And hopefully my plan is to be able to drill all 4 of these plates at once. And then when it comes down to drilling this hole for the pin, I'm going to try to drill a centering hole and run it through the bigger plates, and then tap the back of it for grease fitting so that I can actually grease these from the back. And that should keep everything lubed in there and nice and clean anyway, and keep the dirt and debris pushed out of the hole here. So I'm going to get on to doing that, and next time you see us, we're probably going to start drilling these holes and getting things welded together to go back in the tow truck. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.